firstborn, so by definition I'm the spoiled child of the house. I'm an accountant in the making because I started my accounting journey 2014. I was promised that I'm gonna get a big money. I was really doing because I'm gonna have a lot of money and all that. When I joined Wits, very enthusiastic, hoping to work for the big corporations. Everything was great, golden key, all that, and somewhere 2016, that's when things just turned upside down. I think I moved from top 15 to bottom 15, just like that. And what really happened is that I don't think I can be able to fully describe, in summary, the entire story, but I'm just going to try and put as much as possible. Yeah, I lost my brother 2016, somewhere in May, so it was approaching June exams. At the beginning of the year, things were not really so great. We're adapting to the actual content of the School of Accountancy, so it was a complex transition. So 2016, I totally blame it on the fact that I was totally gone. So I failed 2016, and then 2017, I went back, enthusiastic, believing that I can do this, and yeah, I went back and then it moved me for the second time. One of the things that I've realized now that I'm reflecting on my life at university is reviewing yourself after failing. It's quite easy to pinpoint what you think other people did wrong in relation to your failure, but it's quite difficult for you to sit down and ask yourself exactly what you did wrong. At the time, I felt like it was a systematic thing, they're just against us and all that. And I built a comfortable couch to sit down on concerning the whole concept of the system is just against us and all that. 6 years is how long it took me to finish the program. And funny enough, it was meant to be a 4-year CTA program. I was doing quite well, but from the incident, I then failed to do a thorough background check of where Apfe is going wrong. I failed to correct myself that I was just not putting enough work into my studies. I was just not putting enough hours to make sure that I go to the next level. What happened is failing. After failing in BXI, so the thing with the School of Accounting is that when you're doing Bachelor of Accounting Science, it's like you're doing 2 degrees at the same time. So you are allowed to graduate Bachelor of Commerce either in accounting, tax, or whatever the case might be. If you feel like, I've ran the race, but I'm exhausted now, and then you can go to the workplace, perhaps look for a job while you restructure yourself to come back for the battle. Failing is painful. It's very painful. I failed for the first time, so I felt like I had a reason. My brother had passed on. But then failing for the second time now was now emotionally weighing. It was on my shoulders. But in that moment, where now I'm starting to do things that I thought I would never do. Personally, I thought I was just gonna flow. I'm gonna be a record time student. Yay, everything is great. I'm gonna work for a big corporation and we're good to go. My name is gonna be known out there soon and stuff. But in that moment of failing once, and then you fail for the second time, and this is not to insult anyone, when you fail and people who are not performing as well as you were before actually make it to the next level, then you are actually now questioning your intellectual capacity. You are actually questioning, you actually question the things that you think make you who you are. That's what happened. I failed a lot, but I am proud of the fact that even though I failed, I never left. I went on for 6 years until I had a degree, because I wanted something to hold on to. But besides that, I also wanted people around me to not have that thing where they ask themselves what happened with Apfe, because we know him as a smart person. About choice, because look, personally, I believe that the most powerful thing that God ever gave a human being is their will, which is the ability to decide what they want for themselves. I guess the difficult thing with choice is being able to live with the consequences that comes with what you've decided. One of the best choices that I believe I made was joining a Christian institution like Christian Action Fellowship, which has strongly contributed to what people know today as Apfe, leadership and I go around and people will call, hey, leadership, hey, president, hey, chair, hey, what, and I actually believe that I wouldn't really attribute it to anything, because before KEF, I wouldn't really say I'd led anything. It's KEF that has strongly shaped what I know myself as well today as the leader that people aspire and the leader that people want to associate with. I also made very wrong choices. I made stupid choices. One of the bad, or let me say worst choices that I believe I made was, like I said, not reviewing myself after failing, to sit down and check my own mistakes. Where did I go wrong? How can I change that? But also, it was the idea of thinking that because I did this year, then I perhaps automatically already know a lot, so I don't really have to attend. So not attending classes has contributed strongly on my failure, because I'm one person who understands better in sitting down and listening, and then it just makes perfect sense that way. So not attending classes is one of the choices that I think I made, which now when I look at it and I'm like, no, perhaps I shouldn't have done that, because had I done it differently, perhaps it would have turned otherwise. I really believe that where I am now, or who I am now, it's someone I want to associate with. It's someone I'm personally in love with. It's someone that I look forward to building. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm more aware of myself at this point. I'm more aware of things that I shouldn't do. If there's one thing I like about the university life, is that it exposed me to the person I don't want to be. So it showed me someone I don't want to become. It showed me how laziness what results laziness can give you. It showed me how ignorance can result. It showed me how pride can it gave me a perfect picture of exactly the things that I don't want to associate with. So because of that, now that I'm post-university, I look at all those indicators, and then now I shape my life entirely differently because I now know better. Yeah, when I was a secretary at KEF, there were moments where I really felt like I was stuck. There's a time when, they say that beliefs inform our behavior, right? And I personally believe that Christians strongly behave the way they behave because of their association with the whole concept of Jesus Christ. So as a secretary who is a Christian, the one moment where I felt really stuck was when we were being told that we can't have services. And knowing the organization I was serving and the things that they wanted, they expect things to be done. It was that one moment where I really felt like, I'm really stuck. It was stressful. I actually didn't really know what to do. But I think friendships. I think friendships come in very handy in times like that. I don't ever want to encourage anyone to walk alone in life. I'm not saying get a spouse, but I guess what I'm saying is have people that when life does not necessarily go the way you expect it to, they can still remind you, and they can still put a hand, they can still, contribute to shaping you and putting you back in line in a way that you will be able to continue going in the right direction. So in those moments that I was really stuck, I think I valued the friendships that I had. People who kept saying, no, don't panic, everything will be fine. Sometimes it's just the words that you need from someone. It's not ice cream or anything fancy. It's just someone saying something right. So people don't know how much they contribute to your lives until you actually say it. It's like how they say that there are people behind the scenes, people that you don't know, who are actually doing a lot of work, to contribute positively to the growth of an individual. I think what I want to say about CAF leadership is that it has built in me what Wits couldn't build in the 6 years. So CAF has contributed 10 times more. Accountability, people must account. Like I said, I'm last born, so last borns tend not to account. But I learned to account at CAF. That when you do action, for every action there's a consequence. So you think twice before you just do things. But it also taught me logical reasoning. Don't just speak. You must process what you want to say. So because of CAF, because especially when you're accounting in things like AGMs and stuff, and you're just being haphazard, they can call order on you for that. So you must learn to structure your stuff in a way that it makes sense. Someone can relate to what you're talking about. But things that I think people don't know that I actually learned from CAF was self-identity because of CAF leadership. I'm really happy. I think I'm somewhere where I would say I'm aware of myself, because of what CAF leadership has done. But it also taught me relationship maintenance, how to start relationship and maintain them. It taught me governance, leading people, which is not an easy thing. Leading people requires you to plan and all that, so that you don't just take them wherever. But lastly, the one thing that I think I really want to attribute to the leadership is it taught me to strongly depend on God, because there are times when everyone around you doesn't know what to do, and in those times, really, that you have to go down on your knees and pray, dear Lord, I need assistance with this and that. How can I go about this? How can I go about that? I think one of the things that I have learned as a huge mistake that I made was poor planning. And my friends would always say this, that I live in my head. And maybe it's because I have a big head and there's a comfortable space in there, and I do admit that majority of my time is in my head. I live in my head, and a lot of things make sense there. But it has robbed me of a lot of opportunities, because I then would not plan, because I just thought how things look in my head, it's how it's going to be in the real world, and that's not really the case. So one of the biggest mistakes that I think I've made was not planning. Poor planning resulted in poor results and no results at all. So that's one thing. But another is, when I was leading, I never read. I would never read, honestly. I felt like I had enough information in my head. The content was sufficient. But I began to realize that it's actually not true. Other people were coming with more challenging debates, with more calm emotions, and you can tell that, these people know what they're talking about, and they have a nice way to present it. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I made, which I'm rectifying now. So I think reading shapes how you relate with people. It shapes how you govern people. It shapes how you converse with people. It makes your conversations more solid, makes them more insightful. It makes you worthy of following. People want to follow people who know what they're talking about. People want to follow people who can speak. Yeah, I'm really serious about this single business. I'm single and very available, so doors are open. Very open. We don't submit applications. Just tell me. We'll see how to go about it. But jokes aside, I think the one thing that I really want to say is that it's time we really take our personal space is very serious, and our relationship with God, because foundation defines shape. If we can all anchor ourselves in the foundation of God, then our shape will be what we were intended to be like from the designer's eye, which is God. There are times when saying trust in God is not the most attractive statement in the room, because we are seeking for logic, we are seeking for sense, and all these logical answers to illogical situations. But I just want to tell everyone out there that these are those times when we must hold on strong to God and always side with the truth. And the truth is found in the Bible. So we must hold on to the Bible and read as much as